say nothing to him. Walk by a prostitute as though she's some dirty thing when you know what you were brought from.
We was young 5%ers, feared by many. Heard the black man was God and it put something in me. I'm 14 with the mind of a 40-year-old man with plans to awake my people, so I took command. I went from Chad to IBorn, the leader was born. Told everyone around me, my team was strong. But little did I
Phenomenal. Peace and blessing, my beloved,
Yes,
beloved IBorn, the legend himself, Big Arsonist. Man, I am honored and blessed to be here with two literal legends of our culture and what we do as our people, man.
Right.
And in this art form, you all came together and made something historic. Now, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm a fan, right? But I'm also y'all brother.
Yes, sir.
But when I listened to this, I was honored when you asked me to sit down to talk to you all about the album, because I don't really keep myself around people that I'm just not a fan of personally.
Right.
But brother Chad, brother IBorn, you know what I'm saying? When you hit me and I did a drop for you,
Right.
you know, I was like, man, who is IBorn? I said, yo, IBorn is that aspect of the Almighty of energy, pure energy,
Right.
that gives you what you need in order to take what you're doing to the next level. Anytime I talk to you, bro, that energy that you bring and that you bring me takes me from where I'm at and brings me up 10 and 7 notches. Like I can't stay regular. You know what I'm saying, us?
And it's the same for me. When
Bro.
he come in the studio, it's the same energy. And I tell him this all the time. Like, I could be having a day that ain't going too right.
Come on,
and
man.
IBorn walking, he's smiling from ear to ear, and he got this energy that's on 1,000, and I'm forced to join him. You know what I mean? Like,
Praises due.
so it translates through the music too, I think. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that was the main thing, was to keep that energy in the music.
Right.
Actually,
And I think we did that.
Absolutely.
I know, I listened to it, I can see that's what y'all did. Now, going into this album, right? Going into this album, Born Again.
Right.
Starting off with the title. Now I know we got a track we're gonna get to in a minute.
Right.
But I gotta ask you all, because us just going, you know, as I was going and doing research,
Right.
I didn't realize how much a part you were of my coming up. With the Diplomat and the ant, like I'm like, nah, what you've done in sonically and with music set the tone for my childhood.
I appreciate it, man.
Like, and I'm
That's
sitting
crazy.
there like, wait,
It's
I didn't.
crazy. And I want you to know, it's like, it's humbling for me to hear that, because no matter how many times I hear that from different people, it still bugs me out, because
Wow.
I was just a kid from the Bronx making music in the basement. So to hear you say that, that's like, it's an honor for me to hear from anybody.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying? So thank you.
And it's so real, man. You're more than welcome, man. And so when we go into this album, brother Chad, Born Again.
Right.
Yes.
Born Again.
Born again.
What does that mean to you?
You know, it means that I had a second opportunity,
Come on.
a second chance to be born again through music.
Right.
You know, through trial and error, I had the opportunity. Allah blessed me with a second chance where I was born again mentally, spiritually, where I was able to give something to the people that I never gave them before. And that was me manifesting my Islam in its purest form in music over these powerful beats that my bro gave me.
Come on, bro.
You know what I mean? So,
And that was a question I always wanted to ask you, bro, because you know, you coming from Mount Vernon, your style, your flow.
Yes, sir.
You know, when I began to really listen, not just to the current music, but the music from before,
Right.
I'm like, my bro could go any way.
right. Yes,
He
sir.
could go any way.
Indeed.
Right.
He could hit you with the flash, talk about the bread, the money, the shit. We could go into the fit, the
All
Louis.
that.
We could do all of that.
Always.
You know what I'm saying? From your history and the time that you did, we could go straight street and just go that direction.
Right.
Right.
We could go straight your history with the God bodies and that we could go that entire history. But where you are now as a Muslim follower of the teachers of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad under the direction of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that's the direction that you chose with this new beginning.
Right.
That's deep,
And it's
bro.
all intentional. I want
Come on.
people to understand that, like, nothing on the album is by mistake. From the song arrangements to the skits to the features, to everything was well thought out. Was conversations going back and forth between me and IBorn, like, maybe this should be the arrangement. Maybe this should be the feature on this song. maybe we should put the skit here. Like, you understand? Like, everything is intentional. I don't want
Right.
people to think like we just threw things together.
Right.
Everything down to the number of records on the project. Everything is intentional.
Yeah,
Everything.
Everything was mathematics, and the greatest part was, when we sat down and I was like, yo, maybe we should do a project together. You know how honored I was
Wow.
to be like, yo, my bro, the HeatMakerz, arsonist, not only the producer, but we developed a friendship and a brotherhood
Right.
that he believed in what I could do and what I could be. And he foresaw all of this. He's like, I'm telling you, bro, like, yo, you got to do this. He'll tell you in the beginning, I was real hesitant.
Right, okay,
I'm telling you,
okay.
we was right in that room.
Yeah.
He said, yo, what are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean, what am I doing? He said, yo, like, bro, and then like he really, he drove it to the point where like, I could do this.
Right.
Like he really made me
the
believe.
answers were right in front of his face. You
Right.
understand? It's like me getting to know IBorn, I learned what type of person he was. And to me, I needed the music to match who I knew.
Wow.
You understand? Like what I heard before was great music.
Right.
But in my head, it wasn't the person that I learned to know over the course of a year and a half. And you understand? So it was like, we got to make music that directly describes you and where you're at in life or where you were in life.
Right.
All of that combined. And that's what this is.
Now, because of your catalog, you've worked with everybody.
Right.
You've worked with the underground. You work with those on top of the charts. You can literally sit back, go through your Rolodex and choose who you want to do projects with.
Right.
When it comes to you designing these beats and sitting in the lab with the brother, why IBorn in this time?
Because it was different from anything else I was doing. Like it gave me a direct path as to what I needed to do.
Wow.
You understand? Like a lot of the music I gave to IBorn, it wouldn't really fit with a lot of other artists. Because I can't describe it to you. It's like, I know we're gonna go into, but like perfect segue, like a record like Brother that sets off the project.
Right.
That record, and he'll tell you, that record was like, I probably made that beat a day or so before IBorn heard it. And it couldn't have went to nobody else but him. Because he fit the whole feel of that song is IBorn. Like that song is an IBorn record, whether you like it or not.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So again, everything just happened like divine timing. You know what I'm saying? Like he would walk into the studio a lot of times and I would have a beat in the beat machine and he might hear a glimpse of it like, wait a minute. Now I need that. What's that? Play that again. You know what I'm saying? And that's happened on multiple occasions. So it just lets me know that me and him were in tune for the whole making of this project. You know what I'm saying? So again, it had to be that way. Man. A lot of the records it just had to be. It worked out at the perfect
what
time.
my man Nas said, it was written.
That's a fact.
It definitely was written. It was written, and it was like I said, when he did the Brother beat, like here's one thing you gotta realize about Arsonist and the HeatMakerz, like his whole style, like once he locks in on you and he studies you, he creates the music for you, right? So he know everything that I could do. So he created the beat, like I told you, like this was the first time Arsonist applied pressure to me to do a record. I'm telling you.
Wait, somebody applying the pressure to IBorn?
Bro, listen.
Because here's what you
that's different.
Here's what you gotta understand too. Because this is what people don't understand. Up until Brother, we had did 3 records before Brother, right?
Okay.
So I'm used to IBorn getting a record and calling me the next day like, yo, listen to this. This is crazy. And he wasn't doing that with this record. So in my head, I'm like, yo, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? Because again, he got me accustomed to a certain type of way he delivers music.
Right.
And he stopped that on the 4th record. I'm like, yo, what's happening?
Like,
so that's why I was on him. I'm like, yo, this is a dope record. What's up?
Yeah.
I know you could write. You rap every day. Like, what's up? But I felt like in his brain, because this was our first song off of our project, he applied more pressure to himself than necessary. That's what I feel. I don't know.
Tremendous amount of pressure.
Right, and I feel like as we got deeper into the project, the verses started to quick. You understand? Like I would give him a record or whatever it is, and he next day like, yo, I got it. Listen to this.
And I'm gonna tell you, so this song, that opens the album, right? This song opens the album, sets a certain tone.
Right.
What was it, would you say, before we even go to the intricacies, what was it what was either holding you back or what was the pressure that you was feeling when it came to this brother track? Because this brother track is different.
Nah, it's super different. And that's one thing I say about like arsonist forces you to rhyme a certain way. So the way that I'm used to rhyming, like it was challenging into a sense, like, how do I attack it? So you hear the sample, right? And I'm like, and he'll tell you, I was like, yo, should I go such and such, brother? He's like, nah. He said, yo, just be you and just talk. I'm like, okay. About a week went by. What's up with that beat? What's up with that brother joint? I'm like, I'm getting it. I'm trying. And, and then I finally got it. I said, yo, I'm ready. You know, like we got this thing with us where once I get it down, I hit him up. I text him like, yo, beloved, I've received glorious revelation.
That's his exact words.
That's my exact words. And from there, it was off to the races. And when I came in, it was like.
And you got to remember, in my brain, if we start off at that pace, we'll never finish a project at this pace. That's what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, we gotta, like, we all professionals here. Let's work.
Right.
You understand? Like, if this is what we do, there's no need to. It shouldn't take 2 to 3 days. Not saying people might disagree with me, but to me, once you catch a vibe, you just go. You don't overthink a vibe.
That's a fact.
You can't. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what happened, Ty. I think I was overthinking the vibe.
Okay.
And like I said, the beat, when you listen to the song, brother, the instrumentation, the bass line, the sample.
Right, it's different things going on.
It's a lot going on. So as an artist, you tap into a certain sound frequency and then you catch it and you ride. With this joint right here, I was chasing it. It was like every time I get it, boom, it shift on me. But then I locked in.
And I gotta tell you, bro, as just a fan, right? When a song opens, you hear the voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
My Lord.
Right.
And he sets a tone. Now I gotta ask you, when you chose that, how did the choice of that particular clip? You talking about a man who's been on the front line for our people and the world for over 60 years.
Right.
He's got clips upon clips. He's got quote. He's Mr. Quote. Everybody quote the minister, whether they give him credit or don't.
Right.
What was it about that clip that set the tone for the song and that you all wanted to open the album?
He picked perfect clips, by the way. So I can't take credit for the clips. Like all the skits that are on the project, it would be IBorn sending me different clips. Like, yo, I think we need to use this. We should put this before this. So when it comes to that, I can't take any of the credit when it comes to that. That was IBorn.
So you know, we on the gram all day, man. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is all over social media. Praise be to Allah. Thanks for the Nation of Islam and just the supporters of the minister. So just constantly on the feed, I'm like, I would just DM like, yo, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And then, you know, I told him and he put it together. It's just incredible to work with him because you just know something great is going to happen.
And I think that opening piece is so powerful because it brings Farrakhan back down to earth in the sense of like, you can view him as a human because of what he just said. It humanizes him where you're like, okay, like he thinks like how we think as far as like, you know, like, why are you looking crazy at those people for?
Right.
Like you didn't come from that at some point in your life.
And man, and I'm gonna tell you, because we, you know, offline we had a conversation. Right. Because I remember when we was first talking about the album, you was like, man, brother, if you got a thought about the arrangement and where songs at, you know, I like feedback. Give me feedback. So I'm listening to the album coming over, and I'm hearing the second track. I'm like, man, maybe the second track should be first. And you was like, nah. And then when you broke it down, and I'm sitting here thinking about what you're saying, I said, man, you know, my background's in engineering. And anytime you're approaching a troubleshooting activity, you got to start off with your problem statement. And so when I'm thinking about what you're saying, I'm like, the minister gives the problem statement. You walk by your brother.
Like,
let's get right to the meat and potatoes out the gate.
Come on.
Let's address the problem out the gate. You understand? That's what we did. And if you look at the way we even set up the second track, not to go into that, but the way we set up the second track, it's almost like we press reset.
Right.
The skit starts and we started all over again. And now
what happened.
After we gave you what the problem is, now it's like, let's get into it now.
Right.
You understand?
And that's exactly what I felt. But it took me to really go at the minister.
Because now, I guarantee you, if you hear the project with brother any place else, it don't feel right to you. Trust me. It won't feel right to you.
No, I mean, that's why you got to trust the scientists at hand.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I just like, just, you know, it was all his guidance from the jump. He was like, yo, we don't know what's coming next, man. But right now, this joint right here, yo, this sets the
Bro.
tone right here. So.
And I tell you, when the minister starts off with that problem statement, is because when you study the minister's history, we know when he was the minister over Muhammad Mosque number 7 in New York, he used to leave the mosque after speaking hours upon hours, giving counsel to people. He would walk the streets, the heroin addicts, their hands were swollen from shooting up. He would go shake their hand and go greet the people. And that's why he had the love of the people like that.
Right.
So he's talking to us saying, you know, brother, you walk past your brother.
Yeah.
And you don't give them that. You walk past your sister.
Right.
And then when we hear you come right behind the minister, and it sounds like you are talking to that brother and pleading to him, yo, come get me.
Right. Yes,
Save me. And then you give that hit. Yo, talk to us about what you was reaching for.
Oh, you know, I was just reaching
in those songs.
for
that song.
I was reaching for me. You know, I wrote that looking in the mirror at myself. And when I heard the minister say that, and I'm like, wow, which better way to talk about myself and my trials and what brought me to that. And after I heard that, I just wanted to just talk about my upbringing in the 5% nation.
Come on.
And my walk, and how at one point, once I heard the black man was God, it blew my mind. You know, my mother was, as we say, a staunch Christian. You know, my dad was low key, but, you know, every Sunday morning you hear 𝘽𝙊𝙍𝙉, and if I said her name right, and all the other
no, you said it right.
and the other Christian Baptist you know, artists. And when I heard I was God, it took me somewhere mentally, and I said I really want to tap in and find out how I am God, because as a child, you know, if you're raised in a Christian household, you believe that God is a spook. But then you telling me I'm looking in the mirror at God? So I really wanted to study more, and it got to a point where the study became great, and I started to teach everybody around me. But that power kind of drove me to a point where now I really think I am that God. And that's when things went left in my life. And I wrote about that, you know, just trying to teach people, and the same people I'm trying to teach, I started fighting them and beating them up, but yet and still I'm God though.
Wow.
And my mother's trying to talk and I wouldn't listen, and just going through the whole science, and my dad trying to talk to me, and me just
broke it
rebelling.
down perfectly.
I broke it down,
You
and
broke
then
it down perfectly.
next thing you know, I'm somewhere I shouldn't be, all because I didn't listen, or because I found that I was God but didn't understand the science of me being God.
And who starts off a project talking about their faults?
Come on.
Out the gate. There's power in that, in vulnerability.
Yes, sir.
You understand? And to me, to start your project like that, that's powerful to me. I'm gonna let you know what I think was wrong with me, or what might still be wrong with me. I'm gonna let you know out the gate. That's dope to me. How many artists do that?
Come on, man.
You can't find too many that do that.
And people are scared to do that.
Of course.
And just, you know, what you touched on, Brother Chad, you know, I heard the minister say, will without faith, will without knowledge is power without direction. So as you talking about, you know, this should consume me.
Right.
So you got this knowledge, but you don't got the proper conduit, the proper direction on how to utilize that knowledge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite movies is X-Men First Class, where they learning they power.
Right.
Right. And you see Cyclops, he had his this was before he had his shades or whatever you call them.
Right.
Right. And he would open his eyes and cause destruction.
That's always been my theory, though, is that we're, like, as musicians and creators, we're superheroes. X-Men, if you want to call us that, in the sense of we all have different powers, but we don't necessarily know how to use it right yet. And over time, you learn how to use what is your power for whatever way you want to use it. You understand? But you understand how to use it at that point. A lot of us have the power, don't know how to control it or use it yet inside of this industry. So I always compare, you know, creators to superheroes because we possess that power, but up until a certain point, it's uncontrolled power. You know, but...
And, you know, for Cyclops, he met a Professor X.
Right.
He met a Professor X.
He made a Professor X.
He met a Professor X,
Yes, sir.
right? That taught him the knowledge of who he was.
Right.
Gave him the tools that he needed in order to hone that power.
Come on.
Bro, Chad, who is your Professor X, bro?
Come on, man. I mean, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is my Professor X, you know? That man teaches you how to lock in on your target and don't miss. And don't miss. And I thank Allah so much for him. that I'm just proud to be, you know, in the Nation of Islam and under his guidance and his leadership.
Come on, man. And I know we spent a lot on this first track because this is powerful and it set the tone. But it was something that we talked about that, you know, you talked about that interaction with mom, right? Interaction with dad. And what I saw from it, of course, you're speaking from a 14, 15-year-old young man who's learning himself. But what I saw from that was, as a parent, you're showing the other side of the mindset to a parent. Like they can listen to your words and say, damn, that's what my son is going through. That's what he's dealing with. That's what my daughter's dealing with.
Right.
And then you gave the parent a perspective that they can't see. They just see the turbulence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what kind of guidance do you feel like you can give to the parents that's seeing their young ones who's coming into themselves, learning themselves, but they don't exactly know how to approach it because they might be of a different lifestyle than they've raised them in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, in a situation like that, you know, it's a teachable moment to really understand that your child could be going through something. You really can't tap into their psyche or understand that, right? Because our parents would always say, you know what, I was 14 once, but you were 14 in a different timeline.
Oh,
So when you were 14,
right.
my dad, when you were 14, you were shooting at the Ku Klux Klan. So when I'm 14, I find out the black man is God. So it's a whole different mindset. But to understand that your child could be going through something like that, and through a rhyme, it could give you a jewel on how to treat them or diagnose whatever problem that they're going through.
Man, phenomenal, bro.
Indeed.
Phenomenal. So we're going to get into this next track.
Try to be a better example for the adolescent. Learn from my mistakes. It's lonely of state. Focus on being great. Strive and elevate. The system is designed for us to fail.
You must be born again.
HeatMakerz. Crack music.
You cannot see the kingdom of heaven except to be born again.
We jumping into track two. We started off track one, problem statement set. The minister sets the tone. We get the history of IBorn and to understand what we there to solve, which is abandoning our brother, abandoning ourselves.
Yes, sir.
Right? But now we jump in. And as I said to you, you know, offline, IBorn, I'm like, when I listen to this album, I feel like I'm listening to a movie, almost like a war movie, from beginning to end.
And we start off right in gunfire.
Come on. You know what I'm saying?
We jump right into
climax.
the action scene.
Right in Mr. Battle.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? And some of the best movies start off with that level of energy.
So this would be track two would be the equivalent in a movie to the action scene in track one. Now they go somewhere to regroup. And this is now, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is where we at now in track two. Born Again. It's almost like, I mean, the name is self-explanatory, but it's about new beginnings. We heard brother. Now it's like, I'm gonna start to explain the new version of me and how I got here from this point on.
Now this is start my story. So let me ask you, Oz, from a production standpoint, how did this beat even come about? Like, how did you start with this one?
This is another one that I don't even know if you remember. This is another one that he heard and was like, "Yo, what's up with that? What's up?" Because I think I might have posted this beat on the gram one time. He's like, "What's up with that drum with the crazy bass line?" And then I think I played it for him in person, and he started to drill to it right away. You know what I mean?
Joel was here.
Yeah, and Joel was here too. Yes. And then, you know, again, what we was talking about before, he was getting me so hyped. I'm like, shit, I gotta give him this fucking beat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just right. And he married the like it just all worked out, man. I can't, like, a lot of our music. Yes, there's explanation behind it, but a lot of it was like divine intervention. I can't even explain it to you. It's like even the way certain things came about with certain records, it wasn't planned. Again, like sometimes I'll be in there and I'm working on a beat and he might be on his way out from a previous session and I'll just hit play, just trying to finish up the beat and he'll circle back like, yo, what's that? You know what I'm saying? A lot of our records came about like that. So to me, I wouldn't really have it any other way, because that just shows me that that was supposed to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
Right.
it happened on so many different records that I can't call it like it was like a mistake or a fluke or a one-time thing. It's like it kept happening from record to record, and we ended up here.
And you know what I learned? To always stay on the gram and watch when Austin's makes beats. Yo, that's, I'm telling you, all the time. But listen, as soon as something come on, I'm sitting there listening to him like that, I send something to DM like, yo,
Wow.
what's up?
So like, oh, should be on live?
Yeah.
As you make it?
No, like I'll, you know, like just to keep my fans engaged, if I'm working on a beat, I might throw up a clip online, like
Got
me
you.
actually,
Making the
putting
beat.
the samples together and making the beat. And he's heard a lot of those and been like, yo, what's that?
Yo, I need that.
Yeah, and I think a couple records on the project turned out like that, but we'll talk about that when we get to that. But a couple of records turned out like that from a gram post, you know, but.
And I've seen, I was watching an interview that you did, Ars, where you were talking about, I believe it was the Dipset anthem.
Right.
Where you were like, man, I was in a session and someone asked me to remake it.
Oh yeah, recently.
Yeah, and you was like, man, I couldn't remake it because it was something that I was feeling in real time.
And you gotta remember too, man, that essentially they're asking me to go back to the mind of a 24-year-old. And I'm 46. Probably 47 by the time this is, you know what I mean?
Praise
this
be
is
to
circulating.
Yeah.
So I had to remind myself, like, wait a minute, I know more than I knew back then, so I had to simplify my mind to be able to remake it. Strip away some layers, like, wait a minute, I wouldn't have did that back then because I didn't know how to do that.
Right.
So I had to do it X, Y, and Z, and you know, I figured it out over time, but.
Got it. So IBorn, you heard the track. You heard us, the God scientist on doing this thing. You said, nah, I need, like, this is me. So did you had the bars and you knew what it was? Or
that one was done quick.
I never have the
that was done
Let me tell you
quick.
something, right? So the thing, you know, I live upstate, so I got a nice ride. I got about an hour and 30-minute ride. So I'm going up to Taconic with this joint just playing, and I'm messing around with it, and I'm telling you, like, I'm a morning writer.
Okay.
Like, I wake up and it was like da 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 da. And by the time, you know, noon came, beloved, I received glorious revelation.
That's a fact.
And then I came in, man, and it was like, the beautiful thing about that is, like, a lot of times when I'm in here, 𝘽𝙊𝙍𝙉 is in here.
Yeah. Oh,
And,
man.
you know, he's like, I have to speak on that because he's such a genius.
Yo, the God is different.
And he really gave me a whole different outline on how to do certain things. So normally, you know, you just write a rhyme and such and such and such. Like, nah, that's it right there. And I'm like, that? You know, and he simplifies it but makes it so incredible, along with Austin as well. So when I do a record, like, Austin just doesn't make beats. He produces. So what am I saying? In my mind, I'll have a rhyme, but it may not come in the way I wanted to come when I'm saying it. So I'm like, no, maybe you should take that out and put that in.
Wow.
And that's the genius of him. It could be something as simple as a the, or what, or it, or that. No, take that and do that, and it just goes perfect. So our chemistry with that was just incredible.
Right.
God's a real orchestrator, man.
Super orchestra.
And I tell you, Ars, when I heard the beat, you know, I played football growing up, right? It reminded me in Inglewood when you was on the field, the band used to come up from the high school.
Yeah, that's what it feel like.
And
I
you
know.
would hit
Yeah.
them. And we on the field like, yo, so you getting hyped, like you was homecoming kid.
Yeah.
When I hear it, I'm feeling that.
Oh my God.
And that's the energy we had to give him at the top of the project, because we want to keep him awake.
Right.
You understand that we can't drown him in pain at the beginning of the album. And even if we are drowning him in pain, the music got to be high energy.
Right.
We can't lower the energy that early in the album.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So again, everything was strategic.
Come on, man.
Everything was strategic,
And
man.
when we get into the bars of this joint, when we get into the rhymes themselves, the lyrical ability gets crazy. Like intelligent, intellectual. I'm like, yo, I didn't even know that was that many odd words in the dictionary, bro.
Infallible, inordinate, immeasurable, imhotep, intercept. You know,
Like, yo, where is he going with this, man?
just, you know, just tapping into the mind, brother. Just trying to just do something that's not being done to me in hip hop right now.
Right.
It's somebody really taking the time out to think. You know, and I
Right.
really wanted to, like, yo, let's exercise the greatness of the mind.
And what's so dope about that is called Born Again, and in the record, he's explaining to you his new self. His new, you understand, like the new version of him, he's breaking it down for you in the song, which what makes that record dope to me. Again, everything is strategic. It's we didn't throw no waste out there. Like, he took this verse off, we mailed in this hook. This is an ordinary beat. We didn't do none of that. Like, to me, I looked at it like this, man. Like, it was a competition on the album in the sense of my music was sparring with him. Woo! So we had to, it was like, it's a fight. Like, you listen, you hear the way he talked. When he first heard Born Again, I remember the look on his face, like, yo, what made you play that bass in there? Like, where you get that? And he just looked like he wanted to attack that beat. And it's you know what I mean? It's like a verbal sparring, which is dope,
and
man.
we know he's a fighter.
Right.
Bar Genesis, bar God. Like, we know the vibes, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's one thing I think I hit you, bro. And I was like, yo, when I'm listening to the album, I'm seeing you match the energy off the production and then off of who you sharing that particular track with.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Indeed.
Now, there was something, until what you saying, there was for me, and I want y'all to, of course, speak on this. I felt an emotion in one of the bars. I felt an emotion in one of the lines where you were talking about, you said, left for dead, the HeatMakerz saved me.
Now I'm back, you bastards. Actual fact.
Like,
actual fact.
That take a certain measure of a man to be able to look at his brother and say, bro, you saved me. Like, what? You gotta break that down, bro.
I mean, just in this game, there's so much betrayal and just so much unloyalty. To find somebody that really believes in you, that you are greater than what you think you are. Like, he put that in me. Like, I feel invincible. Like, I feel like it's nothing I can't do.
Come on.
And I'm like, that's why I'm like, yo,
as he should, because
left for dead. Like,
whether he knew it or not, he was part of an untapped market that, to me, and again, this is me speaking, I'm not speaking for anybody else, I feel like the market that was untapped needed somebody like him to represent it. You know what I mean? The correct way. This is just me speaking. I feel like what IBorn brings to the table is a certain level of authenticity that is needed. You know what I mean? Like, again, it's no waste. We didn't waste things on this album. He didn't rap about a bunch of nonsense. When you put that on, you're gonna learn something, you're gonna feel something. It's not wasteful music, man. That's the best way I could describe it to you. This is all purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Purpose.
Whatever type of motivation you need, this is all purpose.
And it's in it, and you can feel it.
Right.
You can absolutely feel it. And there's a certain feeling you get when you meet a person, because when you give a lot out to the world, like, you a brother who gives your energy.
Yes, sir.
Right? You give your energy. It's always something when you meet a person who brings you energy.
Right.
Because typically a person who brings energy ends up depleted.
Right.
That's why we learn from the minister, we have to continuously study when we're giving, because we got to continue to refuel, or your cup won't runneth over. Right? You're going to end up depleted. You won't have much. But when you meet somebody like for like, someone that's bringing you that type of energy, it's we
both love music, man. I think that's what it boils down to, is that, of course, in any business, finances are involved. You got to think about money if this is your profession. But I just love making music, and I love making music with people that have the same energy as I do when it comes to the music. And his energy, on certain days, his energy is past mine. Right. So I need that sometimes. And not even, that's a great thing to me, because sometimes I need that. I work with so many different artists that sometimes their problems become your problems. And, if your energy's not right, it's hard to make music. But when IBorn step into a room, it's like, I'm recharged. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's work. You know what I'm saying? So fire. The same way that he say, like, I might have saved him at a certain point, his energy is needed when it comes to me doing what I do. Wow. So we help each other. You know what I'm saying?
One hand wash the other.
That's
both
a
wash
fact.
the face.
That's a whole fact.
So when it came to naming this song, Like, when did you know that this would be the namesake of the album? Like,
Born Again. You named that, didn't you? Like,
I'm trying to think. It was in the hook.
yeah, because it was in the hook.
Okay.
Yeah. No, matter of fact, because even when you were writing to it, you kept referring to it as Born Again. So yeah, he had that name as soon as he locked into that beat. He called me like, yo, I got born. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my Lord. And also because this, when the production on this, the drums, I mean, this is
Right.
next level. When
militant.
did you know? Right, it's a militant feel,
Militant.
and you know
that's
Right.
how we do.
we drillers, man. So you know,
Right.
it beats in you different.
Right.
When it came to the conclusion, when it came to you buttoning up this beat, how did you know? What was the last finishing touches? Speaking from a production standpoint,
Like, first of all, you gotta understand how I make music. I don't, and this might sound blasphemous to a lot of other producers. I don't spend hours on music because I believe the longer you mess around with it, the more you're messing it up. The initial feeling is what you chase. You don't go past that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't go past that feeling, because once you go past that feeling, it's not creativity anymore. Now it's thought. Now you're thinking too much. When you think too much, you're not being creative anymore, because now you put walls up. Creativity has no walls. You do whatever, whenever, right? The minute you put a barrier on that, you're not creative no more. So I'm saying all that to say, the music that I made, it wasn't, we talking half an hour at most. I don't sit, and he'll tell you, he's seen me make music. I don't sit there with music and try to analyze, what do I need? Because if I'm thinking like that, that means that time to move on. I'm thinking too much. Good music just comes to you. Once you do it, it's almost like you fall into greatness. Like, what just happened? And that's how you know that this whole thing is a feeling. I told him this before, it's not about a sound. You understand? Like, we listen to music and we feel what happens in the music. We don't listen to it and say, yo, we should turn that down, or because once you start doing that, you're not feeling the music. You understand? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I've explained this to him many a times. We're selling people a feeling. We're not selling them a sound. You understand? Like, that's all we selling them. When you buy music now, you don't hold on to nothing. It's nothing tangible. You don't even get a CD no more, right? So what does that tell you? What are we buying? We buying a feeling. So if I don't get a feeling, what am I listening to? White noise. You understand? Like, this is a feeling. This whole body of work is 9 songs of different emotions handed to you. Do what you want to do with it. But we giving you the feeling on this project.
oh my God, man, it is what you giving. This type of hadith that God is dropping.
I'm telling you, it's different,
because
bro.
it's like, and you can apply that across the board.
Yes.
Because how many of us got content, got things that we've overthought?
Of
You got
course.
people in corporate world and rewritten the same email 3 times trying to figure out the way. But
Right.
it's like, yo, speak straight words.
It just is what it is, man. It's like when you love somebody, right? You don't gotta go through the motions of think why it's just a feeling. I just know I love this person and that's what it is. I don't gotta break it down in my head and figure out why. No, it's a feeling. That's it. Sometimes the feeling is undescribable because it's just a feeling. And that's why people pay for it, because you can't duplicate that feeling. If I want that feeling, I gotta listen to that several times. You understand? So that's what we're giving people. We're giving people 9 different feelings that you get. Like I said before, do what you please with that. You love this song for that, use it for that. You love this song for that, use it for that. You need to be motivated by this song, turn that on. And that's what we gave them from record to record.
Man, you sound like a medicine cabinet.
I'm telling you, bro.
Like the herbal joint, not you know what I'm saying? Not the concoction.
Nah, the herbal.
The herbal, where you going in there and you
Nah, my
identifying
bro's
what you
different.
need. Now that's, oh my God, that's next level, man. So all right, Born Again. We're gonna move on.
Right.
And again, I
Track 3.
repeat, everything was intentional, man.
Everything was
I
intentional.
don't want people to think we just do songs together.
Right.
Like, we're intelligent brothers that can sit down and work shit out. Like, you know what? Maybe this should go here, this should go here. Let's use this for, everything was intentional. And when they listen, I want them to listen with that thought in mind. Everything was intentional.
Everything is done for a reason.
Right.
Man, let's do it. Let's move on to track 3.
As I liquefy off this ancient hibiscus, don't make a sound. As I prepare to expound, watch how I take the letter I, and break it down. Intelligent, intellectual, integrity. Moving like the black guard move, you know how I do. Violence undeniable, come marvel at my gospel new. Blue and cream, heavy cup, denim jean, chain glittery, diamond. diamonds all in it. Check out my gleam, I'm treacherous. Double clutch the M6 specialist. German engineering, modified suspension, gold medalist. Twin rhinos, custom embossed, gated albino. Amazing interest, swam the Pacific, catch me in Cairo. My catalog much better than yours. Fabulous for
Man, so we're getting into track 3. The Initiated.
The Initiated.
The Initiated.
Oh my God.
Featuring Raekwon and Docs.
Featuring Raekwon.
Yo, they like I'm a lyricist. I'm a lyrical fan, right? I was the guy in high school, and my boy behind the camera, Kev, would tell you, you know, and I love Wayne, love everybody, right? But I was the guy still listening to Hov, still listening to Nas. You're not taking me off my Hov and Nas because these other cats, you know, at the time it was just lyricism. Like One Mic, it's one of my favorite songs of all time. I parsed the words, so when I heard this track one, going back into the looking at our war movie, right?
Right.
We've came through that initial. We're getting ready now. The Initiated.
Right.
Now on this track, I'm looking at the top tier, the vanguard of the squad who's coming to the forefront. Like I'm here to show you what this army looked like.
Right.
When you study the Prophet Muhammad, when you study the Prophet going into battle,
Right.
they talk about one of the battles where the Muslims brought out the top fighters and how they slayed in that battle.
Wow.
And I'm looking at this, I'm looking at these top lyricists slaying the beat in this battle. I'm like, yo, the Initiate, but starting off with the skit that was brought in the beginning.
Right. The Liam Nielsen, is it?
From Taken. And the reason to me that's so ill is we 3 girl dads, right? Any girl dad and this was before I had a daughter, you saw that movie?
Yeah.
You felt something different.
Yeah.
So whose idea was that to extract that and bring that into the forefront?
Whose idea was that?
I think it was mine.
Yeah, it had to
Was
be.
it?
Because
A lot of the skits, I'm telling you, it was like his brain worked different when it comes to that.
I'm watching TV, I'm doing something, I'm listening. I told my wife, I said, yo, did you hear that? Woo! I said, yo, I'm gonna send this to R right now. And I said, oh, what you think about it? He said, yo, this is great. So, and the funny thing with that beat, because how it originally came up, because I told him, it was a certain artist that I had in mind. And I said, I want to go a little upstairs with because when it's in a certain, what's the BPM on that beat right there?
That might be like 90, 92, something like that. But that's one of the most up-tempo on the project.
High altitudes, I like to fly in. You know what I mean?
Now, he particularly asked me for something more up-tempo, and I think I made it that day and sent it to you.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Talking
Like,
no samples.
yeah, we just played I played everything in
That's
that
him
beat.
on
Yeah.
everything. And when I heard that joint right there,
Yeah. That I like
Yo,
that vibe came together quick.
That
Like
vibe is
once he told me that,
crazy.
I was kind of like, because again, anytime I see IBorn or speak to him, he get me hyped.
right.
So he on the phone hyping me up. And he don't understand. I'm over here and I'm getting charged up. I'm like, so when I get off the phone, I'm like, I start cooking. And I think I sent him the beat back in like maybe an hour or two.
I couldn't believe it.
Yo, bro.
And
Yeah.
he sends back a complete cooked meal.
Yeah. I'm
You
talking
don't gotta
about
put
this
it back in the
arrangement.
Right.
We talking about. We're not talking about. It don't sound. Yeah. So when I say 2 hours, when I say 2 hours, I mean I sent him a finished product. I didn't send him like a framework and work with this. Nah, this is what broken down in the verses with the hook. You understand? Like
It's insane.
Yeah, we wasn't playing around, man.
It's insane, bro.
Because again, I match his energy. He's so that it make me want to just work right then and there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So.
And I heard it, and I took that. I got that from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Come on, man.
What do you say?
Come on now. Come on, man.
Fearlessness, right?
And
Sounds
again,
like insanity to a coward.
And it didn't take long. He sent that verse was done quick. Like I'm painting the picture to show you how as the album went along, he became less and less like intimidated to send something back. It was like it was super quick. Like he'd call me the next day, like, yo, brother, I just received divine, you know what I mean? Like yeah, glorious revelation. I'm like, word, and then he'll come to the studio, rap the verse, and me go in the booth and do the song. But all of these songs were happening literally, like I give him the record today, tomorrow he got a verse. You know what I'm saying? And if he wasn't doing the whole record, he would have just his verse and then we put the feature. But for the records with just his verses, quick. up until this point. We moving now. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? Because I
Come on.
always said, you know, I said if Allah bless me, and I work with some incredible producers, but all what he's done, what he's doing, just to know that I got somebody like that with me, that's, you know what I mean?
Come on,
I'm
There
like,
was just-
nah,
there
I
was
can't
just-
drop this, bro.
There
I
was
got,
just one other record that you slowed up on.
which one?
We'll get to it though. There was
Okay.
just one other record. But I know you told me the reason the other day, which I didn't know, but now I
Okay.
know the reason.
Okay.
Oh,
But other than
man.
that, everything was flying through music, man. And this record right here, he was so hype about this record that it happened quick. His verse.
Got it.
The hardest part was figuring out how we, feature and
Right.
how we're gonna attack the hook. But his verse, out the gate, was been ready.
And so you had your verse is laid,
Done.
Now the next voice that we hear,
Docs.
Doc.
Direct
Well, let me
sell.
tell you. No, let me
Please,
tell
man.
you.
Please.
So Docs came after we got the feature.
Right.
Okay.
So the thing was, I got the feature.
Okay.
And here's the dope thing about Austin is, right? He's like, yo, whoever, like, I'm like, yo, man, I think Raekwon would be crazy on this.
Yo.
He sat back, he said, what's up? What you want to do? I said,
Yo.
give me a couple of days. Next thing I know, he sent me Ray, brother. He
Yo,
made the
chef?
call. Yeah. And you know,
Big shout out to Ray. That's my brother, man. That's a good
Yo,
dude.
bro.
Good dude.
And I mean, when you talk about lyricists of the most profound level in hip hop,
Yeah.
Raekwon.
It don't get more prestigious than Wu-Tang.
Yo.
When in the hip hop, in the hip hop world.
let me say this.
Bro.
How blessed am I?
Yo, God.
Hold up, let me just say this real quick.
Come on.
How blessed am I to have a record with Ghostface and then get a record with Raekwon the Chef?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. You tell me Master Far Muhammad ain't
Come on.
ain't behind this guy? Come on, God. Crazy.
Come on,
Listen,
man.
Come on, I got the producers of the Purple Tape.
Come on, man. What?
Ray, come on, Ray.
Yo, bro.
Man, to be a fan of these brothers and be able to do a record with them, yo, it's like a child, man, just like, you know,
Yo,
just
bruh.
wanting something and he's giving it, man. You know, like every time
And keep
I'm
in
like,
mind, up
he's-
until
he's
this
born
point, the
again.
energy's still high.
Mm.
We had track 3 and the energy's
track
still up.
3.
I'm
I
on
just
a
want you to
1,000.
understand that
Right.
again.
Right.
Everything is done purposely.
And
Up
then
until
so-
this point, the energy's still high.
And so y'all get Raekwon verse. Tell me about when y'all heard it the first time. Like, was y'all together?
No,
Oh,
he
y'all
sent
heard
it
it
to me
separate.
because they sent it to him first, and he sent it to me.
Okay.
Crazy.
Okay.
I already knew
Like-
already. I knew already.
Like,
Yo,
yo,
when
God.
when I heard the verse, I'm just sitting there like, cause you can't anticipate greatness, but you know
Yeah.
something is coming down the barrel.
Right.
Come on.
And just to make it clear, I'm pleased with every feature on this project.
Right.
Nobody disappointed me. Not one feature that's on
Yo,
this
man.
project disappointed me.
And
Bro.
Ray write quick.
Word.
Like 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 Ray, when his brother was like, yo, he doing the verse tomorrow. And when he sent me that, I'm just looking at the phone. I can't believe when I go to my wife, I'm like, yo, do you hear this?
Yo, the
Nah,
God
he's a-
said
he's-
I sent it
killing
to-
the
I sent
Red
it to-
Sea warm.
I sent it to RR. I was like, yo, my Lord.
Nah, he went crazy.
Yo, bro. The double entendres, the triple. I'm like, yo, this is a different level of mastery.
Unbelievable, beloved.
Like, it's a different level of mastery. And so you get Raekwon piece. Now, how did that next element of Doc come in?
Docs. Direct sell.
So Austin is, like I said, my brother Amir, he has an incredible project as well. All played a record with Amir and Docs. And I'm listening, because I mean, me and we all cool, so I
Right,
know
right,
Amir, but
right.
I'm listening to Docs, I'm like, yo, who's that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then from there, he went and put him, we went on YouTube and he pulled up Sway, and he blacked out on Sway in the morning, right? So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, yo, now this dude is dealing with, he remind me of somebody from up north, as we call it, we call it the dojo. And I said, he rhymed like he was in the dojo. Told the God wise about it, and in my mind, I wanted to get another artist, and it didn't work out, and I told R, I said, yo, man, so we got to get the God on there. I said, he said, yo, let me know what you want to do. I said, let me give it 2 more weeks. And 2 more weeks went by, and I couldn't get him. I said, yo, man, release the Kraken.
That's it.
Right.
Right?
And
I
Docs
said
happened
that?
to be coming up here like around like a week later after you
Yeah.
asked me that. So I sent him the music ahead of time. He came up here, recorded the hook, and we
I
good
couldn't
money.
believe it.
Yo, bro. Yo, what the God said on the hook, man?
He said,
What's that
night about
line?
the nights.
He said only God is gang. What he said, only God
God-
is gang.
Only God is gang. Life
Life jumped to sin.
jumped us in. Knighted by the nights for the sins we did after 10.
Yeah.
Knighted by the nights for the sins
Shit
we did after 10.
10.
And it's like, you know,
Yo.
yo, by God's grace, you know, I was raised in a beautiful household. You know what I'm saying? Parents, balance. But I got family. And I know what that after
And you
10
gotta understand, Docs
look like.
Docs is from the trenches of Jersey.
Bro.
Like I'm talking about the trenches of Jersey.
on.
So what he's saying, one thing about Docs, he's not gonna fabricate his lyrics.
Right.
So if he says something, he been through it.
He been through it.
He just knows how to word it in a lyrical way. But he's saying real stuff on the hook and whatever verses he does. But on that hook, the first 2 to 4 bars of that hook, that's Docs' life.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? Before he turned into what he is now. So
Yo, that's one of them lines you could just put up and parse it. Cause you could see a movie from that line alone.
Nah, that hook just took the song in a whole nother, like, you got my verse, you got Raekwon's verse, we both did what we did, you got Austin's with this monstrous beat and just incredible just instrumentation.
all the perfect pieces came
It was
together.
just a perfect
Yeah.
combination
Come
of
on, man.
everything, brother.
That's why I say this album from time to time felt like divine intervention, man, because certain things that shouldn't have lined up the way they lined up just lined up that way. And we couldn't have planned it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because again, like IBorn said, at first there was going to be another feature on that song. That didn't pan out. But it almost worked out for the best because the best version of the song, I think, was made. You know what I'm saying?
I do
So
too.
I'm not mad at anything that happened. I feel like it was a blessing.
Man, and before we transition to the next piece, that 1,000 bow ties behind me, you know, that line was just, that line
And
alone
look,
was
and
just
what
crazy.
and this is what makes the album so dope. we
alone was just
we
crazy.
looking at it in the flesh. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yo.
Like, that's what makes it so dope, is because we're seeing the visual in front of us.
Right.
So on other songs where he says something like "Welcome to Bowtie City,"
Come
it
on.
might sound funny to other people, but when you see IBorn, like, I get it.
Right.
This is his life. I get it. Like, it's just perfect, man. Everything happened the way it was
Looking for me,
supposed
but
to.
couldn't find me. I'm in a hood near
near
you with 1,000 bow ties
behind me.
moving like the
Black
black God
God
move. Come on,
Come on,
sometimes I
man.
gotta pat myself on the
Yo,
back.
bruh.
Allahu Akbar
And
for
it's
the great
like,
mind.
and as you said, Us, it's like, see, it give a different energy to those who see the brothers outside.
Right.
Yeah.
Who go and support the Final Call
Right,
newspaper
right.
and see that love and understand that that's that man's way of service.
Right.
But there's someone inside of that shirt. There's someone inside of that suit. There's someone that goes deep into behind that bow tie.
That's a
Right.
He
fact.
has a skill set. He has an energy. He has a particular thing that he gives to the world alongside of his service. And so when I heard that 1,000, who are those other bow ties? What else do they bring into the world? What other gifts do they got?
Come on,
man. This
Speak
joint's
on that,
crazy.
beloved.
Come on, man. Man, so we could go.
The initiator.
We initiated.
Nah, let them listen. Now they just gotta listen.
They gotta listen
Oh,
now.
y'all gotta
We
listen.
going to
We told
track
them, yeah,
4.
they just gotta
man.
listen
We
now.
going to track 4.
Oh, Lord.
Beautiful.
Track number 4.
I gotta get yo.
Moving like the Black God move.
You know how I do, flawless, undeniable. Come on, let my gospel.
Honorable, my Lord.
Better our lives, steady moving in 5s. Rhino power, mixed with manga powder in my vibes. Elements, fixed with elegance, intelligence, arsonists. Whoever want parts of this, let's ride. Alliances.
When you see him, you look at him. When you hear him, listen to him. Where he says go, you go to. Where he advises you to stay from, you stay from. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You've been warned. They try to kill him with radiation. They filled him with 11 times more than his dosage. Allah willed him.
Man, bro. So now we on a track 4. We on a track 4.
That's where it gets real.
This is where it gets different here.
Super different.
You know, you in the heat of battle, and the 4 is a number foundation, right? So this track sets a certain foundation. The title alone, and I want to touch on. We've seen many artists use samples of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, even use his name as titles to certain tracks,
Right.
where there might be more subliminal messaging. definitely, you know, using his messaging in a positive way, never in a malicious way.
Right.
This ain't like that.
No.
This ain't that.
Right.
There's no, and no disrespect to anybody else, right? There's no hiding behind the tree. There's no, this
Right.
is the honorable.
This is the way you give somebody their flowers.
This
You
is
want
the
to give
way.
somebody their flowers, show them this as an example.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what he did, man. Like, to me, this is one of my favorite records off the project, just because I know how it got put together. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's a real record. It's not like, it's not made for commercial appeal. That was never the focus. The focus was to make this great body of work in this one record. Okay, cool. He's giving the minister his flowers, but how do we do it in the right way? And you know what I'm saying? I think we figured it out. In my opinion, it's a powerful record, man.
And this is one of those, because, you know, as you said earlier, you know, this isn't just Brother's brand,
Right.
the suit and the bow tie. This is who he is.
Right.
This is who he is on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yes, sir.
Right? Saturday and Sunday.
And let me give you another story about IBorn with this song, right? So the song has been done at this point for, like, not right now, but the story I'm about to tell. So the song had been done for about maybe 5-6 months, maybe longer than that. And he's like, yo, I got this piece that I want to use to put before the honorable. And I'm like, all right, cool. So he comes through, matter of fact, because he finally has the audio. So he comes through, he plays it for me. And I had no plans of making no music that day, especially for, you know, for that day. And he got me so hyped. I know I keep saying this, but he got me so hyped that I think before he made it home, I called him like, yo, because I started working before he even left here. I said, nah, I got an idea.
Yo, you was on
and he was like, yo, let me get out of here and let you do your thing. By the time he hit the highway, I think I sent you something.
Yes, I couldn't believe it.
Because when you do hear this record, right, for anybody, when they hear this record, when you're hearing the minister speak, there was no music behind him. It was just a acapella of him talking. His son talking, and you might hear the crowd in the background. That's it, no music.
Right.
So my job was to set the scene, because I know the song coming after it, and I know what it sounds like, what it feels like, what it means. I had to, in my opinion, that's what I told him. When I'm making the music for the background of that, I'm picturing somebody being carried through the streets on other people's shoulders. And that's the way. And then the funny thing about it,
That's a fact.
what did your wife say when she heard it? She said it sounds like somebody's being carried through the streets on this. That's exact. Before I even told him,
exactly what she
before I
said.
even told him my mission,
Like
he
somebody's
told
being
me that.
carried.
So mission accomplished.
And you talked about that first voice that we hear is from his son, Mustafa Farrakhan,
Mustafa, the supreme captain.
the supreme captain of the Nation of Islam. If you've never met a man outside of the minister who can speak to the heart of a man.
My Lord.
Let me tell you something. I put the music behind that. Now when I listen to it, with or without the music, I feel like I could run through a brick wall.
Bro,
when that man speaks, even till now, if we play it now, I get goosebumps.
All the time.
Like, I can't explain to you why. It's something in the tone of his voice and the conviction in his voice that it's like, I believe him. Whatever he's saying to me, I believe him. I can't describe it to people, man. It's like when people talk from a certain place, it can't be fraudulent.
Right.
When I hear him speak, it's man, that record is so powerful to me. I can't even say enough about that record, but when I hear that intro alone, let's not even talk about the record, because the record in itself is spectacular. When I hear the intro alone, I could just do anything. I feel like my powers increased when I hear that. You understand? Like, it's powerful music, man.
And I heard Minister Nori just recently at the National Training Seminar speak on the Supreme Captain.
Right.
And he said, the minister said to him one day, when you choose a captain, you choose a man who you want the men to emulate, to be like.
Wow.
He said, so can you imagine when the minister chose his son to be the man over the entire Nation of Islam that he wants all the men to be like. When it came, IBorn, to choosing that particular soundbite? How did you find that?
So I saw it on Instagram, right? And it wasn't good quality.
Okay.
And I searched high and low, and I think, matter of fact, I called Brother Caleb. I said, listen, I think I hit Caleb. I hit a few different brothers that's on the gram, and everybody was sending me back the same thing, Brother Simon, everybody. He said, nah, man, we gotta reach out to Brother Fontaine. We gotta call the final call. I said, you think they got it? And then I was trying to find out exactly where it came from to find out it was the graduation. Right, it was the first graduation, I believe, right?
Wow,
So then I got it, I ordered it, I bought it here, and you know one thing about the Supreme Captain? Yo, he's just a man's man.
He's a
like,
man's man,
like
bro.
nah, and the love. May Allah be pleased with my father. I know how I love my dad.
Right.
Right. To see how he put it all on the line for his father, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Like whatever comes out of his mouth, you know it is actual fact. His word is bond.
Yo.
And when he said that right there, brother, it just electrified me from top to bottom because I know how he loves his father.
Come on, man.
Right?
1000%.
Come on now.
And so now we get into the track itself, the words.
The honorable.
We get into the words of the minister describing his experience with and you talk about the radiated seeds. See, what you're bringing is things that those who are not ingrained into his teaching and understand his experience, they would not have the requisite ability to bring up, to bring to the forefront.
Like he taught me on this album.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean? Like I learned a lot of things just listening to his rhymes on this album. So I can imagine what it's gonna do to other people on the outside, you know? So
like in that experience of the minister with the radiated seeds.
Right.
And you talk about it. Like you're not playing on this, bro.
This is actual facts.
These are actual facts of the attempt to kill the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Right.
Where they put these radiated seeds when he was in his most compromised state. And you'll see different documentaries where the Supreme Captain and those on his security team are talking about that experience.
Yes, sir.
Talking about the minister being opened up on that hospital bed. And as you said, man, damn man, I'm trying to hold it back now because it put a different energy in you because you think about a man who's given his life for our people, for the people of the righteous on this planet.
Right.
And you chose on this project to expose that. But in reverence of showing love to this man.
Yeah.
Like, why here?
You know, when you love somebody so much and you know that they live for you, they'll die for you, the suffering that he has gone through for us, for the liberation of our people, the sacrifices with his family to rebuild this nation, like what type of man is that?
Come on, man.
We know that's God in a man. Come on. So, you know, just getting these different lectures, he'll tell you, I flood his dam. Just boom. Yo, listen to this. Then when it was time to do the song myself, Arsonist and Joel was here. Joel was like, yo, just write, brother. Just write. And that's what I did. I just wrote. And the way it happened, you know that Allah had his hand on this. Because when I heard the beat, said just rhyme. Stop here. I don't even know if it was a bar count.
No, it wasn't. We just wanted to make it. We wanted to make it conversational.
Yeah, you know somebody like, yo, do 8 bars. There was no bar count. So you won't get the same amount of bars in each of these things. But to do it, and I have to give him such just to highlight his greatness as a producer. He was like, yo, this should go there. I would say the rhyme. He would just go through them like, listen. And tailor-made and just put everything together. And that's why I know Master Fard Muhammad's hand was on this song. Because it couldn't come out no other way.
No, it couldn't.
Yeah.
It couldn't come out no other way to know God was in that room with us when that song was recorded.
Right.
You know?
And it came together, once we started, it came together rather quickly, man. It wasn't like we wasn't sitting around trying to figure out. It was like things were just happening. Like
I was saying less than an hour.
yeah,
Honestly, that song,
yeah,
that fast, it happened like that.
yeah.
And you might have said it already, but where did you know you wanted to do a track like this?
Here's how it really started. He'll tell you, I wanted to do a song called FOI,
Okay.
right? Remember?
Yeah.
And then another song happened with me and another artist that we'll speak down later on. And I said something in the song. And then when I said, behold, it's the hell's winter, then Austin says, yo, like something went off in his brain. Like, yo, I got something with something like that. And when he played the song and I'm listening, she was like, in my body,
Yeah.
I have a life.
It said, in my body, I got a soft light that burns low. My hell is cold.
That's the woman's voice.
That's
that
the
we hear.
woman's voice. And I'm like, my hell, like, I immediately thought about the radiated seas and the minister. And I said, nah, we got to turn this into the honorable.
Woo! That's such a mean line to think about. Like, my hell is cold. Like, when you really think about it, it's like, that's an ill concept.
Wow.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
crazy.
So he built from there. Like, once he heard that, the ideas just came to him. Like, he heard that and took it someplace else. And it turned into the honorable.
And when you spoke on when Joel heard the track.
When it was done.
When it was done.
Yeah,
What'd
because
he say?
And this is real.
But he was here for the making of it.
We was all three of us was here.
Yeah.
And you know, when he looked at me and said, yo, he said, congratulations on your biggest record. And when he said this, I'm literally in tears. Because for me to hear how this all came together, from him, something going off in his mind to play that sample, for me to tap into it, for Joel, just the chemistry, it was just, I can't even tell you how insane it was.
My Lord.
And it was even more crazy when I did the record.
Come on.
I let Minister Arthur hear it. That 4th of July, Minister Arthur went to he went to the farm, right?
To Minister's farm.
Went to the minister's farm. And he said, yo, he said, Brother Chad, he said, do you mind if I play this record for? I said, yeah, but I didn't think, like, you know.
Right.
And he called me and said, yo, I played the first part of it. And now we got at the farm, the minister's family was at the farm celebrating. And he said they stopped and they looked and they said, his exact words, they said, who's that, Nas? He said, nah. He said, that's Brother Chad, a.k.a. IBorn, out of Muhammad's Mosque number 7. He played it again. The Supreme Captain got up. I can't say what he said. He said, play that again. Play that again. And I said, man, we did it.
Wow.
I said,
the biggest record.
We did it.
Congratulations.
We did it, God.
Man, praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah.
And when I heard it all the way to the end, I said, man, this was a handwritten letter from a student to his teacher.
Right.
You know, man, we're gonna move to track 5.
Dedicated to black people, exalted to Messiah Jesus. He has no equals.
I'll whip the hell out of giants physically. Listen to the unseen army of Farrakhan that's everywhere.
HeatMakerz. Crack
That
music.
I gave my brother my word and my word is bomb. Put a message in the song, disguising atomic bomb. Sit at the round table, it's the meeting of the gods. The world's ours, but the people alone. They moving too like there, I'm moving on like yeah. They don't got no sight here, where's God right here? Recognize my mic here.
Yes, sir. Track 5, Executive Council.
Yes, sir.
So the energy on this track is different.
Yeah.
The coordination, the orchestration, there was every song on the album was intentional.
Right.
Right? This compilation from top to bottom, you can feel every portion of it.
Right.
From the production side to the lyrics to the choice of those who's being put on this particular song to the title.
Right.
Alone.
Right. Yes, sir.
And then this is one of the illest videos. The GQ and the capture God himself
hanging from the SUV.
hanging from the trucks. Like there's so much to unpack.
Right.
But y'all gonna have to watch the video. So we ain't about to.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna touch on certain highlights.
Okay.
So, like, what came first?
As far as
The lyrics, or did we have a beat and this masterful production
no, it was definitely the beat first.
that came?
It was the beat first, and I think. But he told me he wanted to put
9 songs.
no. On Executive Council, you told me you wanted to feature
Donique and Ashe.
Yeah, he told me that from the gate, but we didn't have a beat at the time. And I, if I'm not mistaken, I put that beat together, sent it to him, and then at the tail end of the record, right before we put the video out, I added some extra stuff to the record to kind of make it feel like a bigger record to me, like just subtle sounds, you know what I'm saying? But it made a difference, and yeah. So again, that was intentional too. It was not like when that record was made, it was made to put Donique and Ashe on there. It wasn't like it just happened out of nowhere. It was intentional.
All planned, bro.
Yeah.
So and these is brother Donique. I mean, his lyrical ability,
Unbelievable.
his similar to you, IBorn, his intention around promoting the brand
Right.
of the fruit of Islam, the bow tie has been there with him from the beginning.
From the beginning.
When you orchestrated, what was the beginning thought that led to the actualization of this track?
So we had 8 records done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, the number 9 is born.
Oh.
And I was like, we got to do one more record. And
so this was the last.
Yeah, that was the final record that we did.
The final record?
The final record. And I said, you know what? I said, I really want to do a record with my brothers. I said, I'm a huge fan of Donique. I love Ashe.
Know that.
Yeah. So I reached out to him, and then, I'm like, yo, they said, send the beat. Come on. And Donique sent his verse back.
Yeah. And it was almost best that it was the last record we recorded because I almost had to design a special feel for that record that wasn't like the other records. Because the other records that he had, even the ones that had features on there, besides that one, they were more personal and geared towards him. This record felt more like for lack of better words, like a posse cut. It felt like that, the energy, the way the beat broke down, the elements in the beat, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was almost the best thing that had happened as the last record, in my opinion.
And the genius of him.
Come on.
To put it together like that was incredible.
And again, there was a reason for putting the record out first. You know what I mean? Like everything was strategic.
Right.
It was because, like we got other brothers from the nation involved on that record. Why not highlight them first and help promote the project at the same time? It's a win-win situation. You know what I mean? Like 2 hands are better than 1.
Come on.
4 is better than 2. You know what I mean? 6 is better than 4. So this is what was happening. we had Donique to help promote, Ashe to help promote, IBorn to help promote, me. So now it's getting further.
It's getting further.
Then if we were selfish and said, you know what, let's just pick a record that you're on by yourself for the first record. Makes no sense to me to do that.
Right.
When we had the option of doing it that way.
Now IBorn, there was many brothers and sisters who you could have reached out to. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain synergy that you can feel between even you all's voices.
Right.
That like, what was it about how you orchestrated and said, nah, like these are your bros,
right?
But everybody's your brothers, right? But there's something about them too that it was something that you saw,
right? When they did that freestyle, remember that the first freestyle off of What We Do?
Absolutely.
And I looked at him, I said, wow. And I just looked at him, I said, these brothers are really on a whole nother level. And to me, I just said, I would just love to do a record with my brothers. These 2 right here, that's all I need.
Come on.
And I said, we're going to form the Executive Council of hip hop, and it was something that came with that name too. So one thing about the Nation of Islam, I just want to tell people that this is not for play.
Right.
There are laws that have been set and governed, and it's a certain structure that you just can't shoot off the hip and think you're going to do something without getting a phone call.
That's a fact.
And we got that phone call from the Executive Council, and I was like, wow. But it was such a great call, and I have to say, man, Dr. Wesley, I love you, brother, because he really made this happen. And when he asked me why that title, and I said, because the way you represent, the Executive Council represents and governs the Nation of Islam to put us in accordance, I wanted to do that for hip hop and rap with the Executive Council of Hip Hop so that we can govern and set a certain standard and bar for hip hop. And he said, man, brother, that's all I need. And he said, yo, he said, I just want to make sure that the council supports you. And we got the full support of our Executive Council for this record. And to have that, and I pray to Allah that it was pleasing to them and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Come on, man.
Yes.
My Lord, and if we could speak to the video, because we got this is I mean, of course, this video's for a couple of pieces on the project. Well, if you could speak to the particular production around this video and the inspiration, I should say.
Well, we know that the inspiration, the highlight of it is myself and Donique and Ashe hanging off of these Cadillac trucks.
Right.
And, it was a story with my good brother Jim Jones, and I love Jimmy, you know what I mean? And we could
Who's on the album?
He's on the album.
He's on the
He's
album.
on the album. And something happened, and, Jimmy's like, yo, he said, the next thing I know, I seen these trucks pulling up, and the brothers was hanging off the side of the joints. So I said, yo, this would be dope if we did it. And like I said before, when I told Donique and Ashe, I'm like, yo, listen, we're going to hang off these trucks. He was like, yo, you not serious, are you? And I'm like, yeah, we're going to hang off these trucks.
And here's what people got to understand. When IBorn get an idea in his head, it's going to happen.
Right.
Whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. Like, once he's fixated on an idea and he sees a vision a certain way, there's no deterring him from that. I realized that about him.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is a gift in a sense, because some people can't follow it through when they have ideas.
Right.
He follows it through and then some. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Which you gotta admire, man. So
and I tell you, I was blessed to help support the project from a I'm gonna just say under co-production standpoint, just shadowing and helping my brother GQ, who is a master shooter, and being able to work with someone with that level of experience and just supporting the way that I could. Man, I'm looking at, but because like when you there in real time, you can just see what you see. You can't really see what's behind the camera and what he's capturing.
Right.
And when I seen the final product, I'm like, yo,
this is crazy.
This is
he's a beast.
Crazy, bro.
He's a beast.
Like, and of course, when you watch it, we're showcasing and emulating the movements that we've seen from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan when he comes and in 2012, with a minister, and many may not know this, he changed the address of all the mosques in the Nation of Islam and said, your new address is in the streets. If you with me, you with my people in the streets.
Right. Yes,
so when you see that clip, you see a visual of when you watch the clips in 2012 where the minister goes directly into the streets at his age, at his level of wisdom. He led us back into the community to shake the hands of the people. He pulled up to people's doorsteps.
Right. Yes, sir.
Like, it's a different feel. So you see Student Minister Henry out of Muhammad Mosque number 7C walking in and orchestrating a conflict resolution for the clip. You know what I'm saying? So it was absolutely magnificent, man.
Nah, we put that together really well. And I have to say to you, thank you, because for those that don't know, he was my stylist in that. He picked the suit, the shoes, the handkerchief, the glasses.
Man, that was cold, man.
Now he put it together, took me to the spot, man, and I've been going ever since. And thank you for really stepping up, because we needed you.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Now I can't wait for everyone to see this project and to see this particular track, because it's gonna bring you a spirit, and I think this gonna go beyond. It's going into the stratosphere.
It's doing some incredible numbers
let's not forget. Right now, we almost close to 500,000. So let's not act like it's falling on deaf ears.
This thing is really touching the peoples. And like I said, my biggest records have been with arsonists. Like Allah's blessed us. Like my biggest records to date have been from the HeatMakerz.
Excellent.
It's only right. Right? It's only right.
So, man, IBorn, at the end of this video, there's a dedication to an OG. There's a dedication to a pioneer in our nation. And you said something in this track, Blacknificent. Speak on that. Speak on that man that you highlighted at the end of this video.
Brother Leroy Muhammad, a.k.a. Black Leroy. everything that, may Allah be pleased with our brothers, everything that came out of his mouth was black.
Facts.
You say assalamu alaikum, he go black alaikum salam. You said, how you feeling? I'm black-wise.
Come on.
You know, and how you feeling today? You know, blacknificent.
Blacknificent.
So I took that part blacknificent from Black Leroy because our brother had transitioned. And I just wanted to let his family know that we love him.
Absolutely.
The Nation of Islam loves him. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan loves him. And we just thank Allah for everything that he did for the Nation of Islam. So I wanted to end that video with our brother so the world can see Blacknificent Black Leroy.
Man, may Allah forever be pleased with our brother,
Yes, sir.
Black Leroy.
Black Leroy.
All praise due to Allah.
Yes, sir.
Track 5, Executive Council.
But we made it outside. Always stick to the code. FOI to the bone. When the council come home, you saying bye to that throne. Always stay beside my brothers, never riding alone. Make a move against the fam if you try to, you go.
Got the world asking who is he? A certified lieutenant, pressure they can't breathe. This uniform I earned double bars on my sleeve. When I say mind the Messiah, I'm talking mind to the minister. His love for his people, how he tried to deliver. We at war with the enemy, we know the penalty. If a person doesn't perform his duty, what the end to be? When the smoke clears, we'll appear as the victim.
I'm excited.
Man, we at track 6,
Wolf.
Mind of the Messiah. Mind of the Messiah. Now, when this track opens, I haven't been blessed yet to travel to a Muslim country internationally. I haven't.
Right.
But what I hear from those who have is there's a certain sound that you hear. Now, these are Muslims, Christians, any faith. When the description that I've heard is when you get to the holy city of Mecca or you get to Medina and you hear that sound resonate, the call of the Adhan,
Right.
it puts something different in you.
Right.
When this track opens, you hear that call.
Yes, sir.
Like, what was the inspiration behind the Mind of the Messiah and opening with the Adhan?
Well, we know, the Adhan is the call of prayer, right? The call of prayer, then transitioning into the mind of the Messiah, who teaches us the proper science of prayer and who to pray to. So that's how that happened, beloved.
My Lord.
Like you said, everything was done, you know what I mean?
Intentionally, everything.
Yeah.
Bro, and with this, because once you get into the production within this particular track, the energy told me, oh, well, I'm in battle now. We
Yes,
in
sir.
battle.
Right.
And what it reminded me of, I was studying one day the Prophet, peace be upon him, and was talking about, I believe it was the Battle of Badr,
Okay.
where they said they were fighting and Prophet is at the forefront. But there were times where he would go to pray as they're fighting, and then he would get back to the forefront, and the soldiers would get energy. They would draw closer to the Prophet during the battle.
Wow.
So I'm like, we saying prayer in the middle of battle right now.
Yes, sir.
And honestly, the like a lot of records, the beat will dictate that, but on this record in particular, their lyrics between him and Sasko, their lyrics dictated the energy of that track. The track didn't dictate the energy of them, if that makes sense.
It does.
Like other tracks, the track did that. Not this track. This track, if you strip away his vocals, Sasko's vocals, and just listen to the beat doesn't sound like it's calling for that, what they did. But what they did was they brought it to another level. That they brought that particular beat to another level. So again, we worked off each other, man. When he'll tell you when Sasko came in here and put his voice to that track, I can't even describe the feeling to you, because when you see Sasko, right, you don't think that voice should be coming out of his body.
Really?
Real talk.
Oh,
There's
I
no
gotta
way.
meet the God.
Yeah.
I gotta meet the God.
His voice sounds like the voice of a 300-pound, 6'8" person. You understand?
Yo,
like
that's a fact. And the way it ring up, when I heard
it
this
sounds
track,
like that with no microphone.
my Lord.
I'm serious.
Am I lying to you?
Yo, when he came in here, all played the beat, and he just walked around. And real Johnson, like when I looked, I'm like, yo, like wow.
And I know IBorn has footage in his phone, so
yeah.
in this, we're gonna show that footage somewhere, so you can get a better understanding to what we was hearing.
Right.
No pen, no paper, just straight vibe off the beat.
Sound like
And
he had
have it
a
just like that.
built-in megaphone in his vocal cords. Like it's incredible, man.
But
Go ahead, please.
Not to cut, but the brilliance of it is that when R made the beat, he said, yo, you know, it'd be dope on here like a reggae artist with like a really hard voice.
Yeah, like a heavy voice.
A heavy voice. So Austin is a Jamaican. He knows the culture. He knows what he wanted. And when he sent me the video of Sasco and I'm listening, I'm like, wow. But still with that being done and that being said, to be here when he did this was absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing.
And bro, and Oz, I know this is the music you came up on.
Yeah, for the
right?
most part, yeah.
This is so when
For the most part.
you and I was watching an interview of you and you were like, man, I always look to incorporate, you know, that sound in
just
my
because
project.
I love it so much. It's like I wanna give people that same feeling that I get when I listen to certain reggae songs. You know what I mean? Like I'll be in the gym and I'll listen to like I might be listening to 𝘽𝙊𝙍 just because the energy of that record is like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So when I make music and I incorporate a reggae artist, I wanna give back that same feeling. So when people hear it, they feel the same way I feel when I listen to certain records. So when they listen to Mind of the Messiah, I wanted them to listen and say, oh, nah, this is crazy. This is giving me a feel like I want to listen to this 20 times back to back. I want them to have that feeling. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what it give you.
Right.
Yeah.
It give you that, like, I can't listen to this once.
Right.
Because that went, we are the soldiers and
Yeah.
that's who we are.
Yeah.
It's like,
Sound like
we
a
are
lion,
the soldiers. And, yo,
You heard I was
ready
blacked
for
out at
war.
the end?
My God.
Yeah.
Like he
Now
really
he went crazy at
he
the end, and that wasn't even
crazy.
planned. That was like, cause his assignment was a hook.
That was
But
it.
I think he felt the vibe of the record so much, he was like, yo, just start me from my last hook. And he just did a verse. Like, that wasn't part of the plan.
Wow.
But it was so crazy
God's
that
plan.
That was God's
Yeah,
plan.
that was
an actual
again,
fact.
it was like this whole thing was like divine intervention, man.
Come on now.
Things that that wasn't supposed to happen, they happened. And it happened like in a way where you couldn't plan it. Because and he'll tell you, here's the thing with Sasco. He wasn't gonna do the record unless the message was right.
Woo!
You know what I mean? And this is somebody that is a paid, let's keep it real, like a paid feature to be on the song, right? But the money didn't matter to him. It was like, what is the record about? What is this man talking about? He didn't even think of one lyric until he came here and heard the record.
Wow.
So now when you start doing this, it's like, okay, we got to handle a business. I was like, yo, we can't even get that far yet, bro. He got to hit a round.
Right.
Man,
I said,
principles.
what?
Right.
Now, let me ask you. Now, because I love what you said, Oz. What was that conversation like? Because this is called Mind of the Messiah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to get into that.
Right.
You know, what was when he asked, like, yo, what is this about?
I let him know, like, and that's the great thing about Sasco because he's conscious. Like his music is conscious. He knows about the struggle. And he has a great deal of respect for the Nation of Islam.
Wow.
And I've had the opportunity to sit down with him and just have like these intellectual conversations. And he respects the movement. He respects what we're about, how we go after our people.
Right.
And I think that connection right there was the greatest chemistry right there. So once that was done, that was it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And the title of this song is Mind of the Messiah.
Right.
And then you say it in the line,
Right.
clear as day.
Right.
Mind of the Messiah is the mind of the minister.
The mind of the minister.
What does that mean to you, bro?
I'll tell you something real where I really got that from, and I have to Don Enoch. So for those that don't know, you know, whatever the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gives us the instructions, we follow those instructions to the T. And we were issued a travel ban where we could not travel to, you know, other countries.
Right.
That was just it. I don't care what you got to do. So I asked Don one day, because, you know, I know things were picking up in the music. I said, Don, you know, I'm starting moving around. I said, do you think that the travel ban is ever going to end? He said, brother, I can't tell you. We are in the mind of the Messiah. And when he said that, it blew my mind. I said, wait, what? We're in the mind of who?
We in the mind
of the Messiah. The God is
damn.
He's thinking about us? I said, yo, That gave me chills.
Yo, that's crazy.
Word. And I said, yo, I have to use this somehow.
That's crazy.
And it goes back to what I'm saying. Once that's in his brain,
Yo, bro,
that
it.
record had to get done.
It was over.
We are in the mind of the
Messiah.
Messiah.
Like, for Don
Lord.
Enoch to say that, it was, for those that know Brother Don Enoch, his function was
it's
powerful for him to say
it's
that.
different.
It's different.
And the beauty of the minister, because, you know, when he speaks, right, he's being fed, right, by the God directly.
Directly.
What it is that the God wants put out into the world.
Yes.
So when we see that the minister provides guidance at a certain time, and then we see the forces come directly after that to answer that guidance.
Right.
Like, you really got to understand who we looking at in the mind of the Messiah.
Oh, my Lord.
Like, I think back to pre-COVID, where the minister, yo, don't spin big.
He said that.
Don't spin big. That was it was one line, ours.
But
Don't spin big.
It made all the sense in the world in a couple of months.
In the next month,
in
we
the
like,
blink of an eye.
oh snap! Everybody saving their bread, bottling toilet tissue and shit. They don't know what they doing. Like, but it's real, man. So now this particular track is different, and it brings a certain energy. This is one of those that's gonna be on repeat, right? And then this, I believe, correct me if I do we welcome Bow Tie City in this track?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
This is where Bow Tie City is established?
Welcome to Bow Tie City.
City.
And my military decorum got the world asking, who is he?
Woo!
You know what I mean?
Come on, man. So y'all know we in Bow Tie City now.
Welcome to Bow Tie City.
Come on now. Track 6 in the books.
Track 6.
When it's all over, them did know from the start, yes, that we are just soldiers and we're ready for war. I and see the double-sided motion of the sword swinging. This is war, bringing the chords ringing across kingdoms. The chorus, I had a Lord singing. Supreme Yahweh, that's my offering. And when my temple's long gone, my offspring will be offspringing into action. You see them, you see me. We all one. That's a reciprocal fraction in physical fashion. I'm an ink scribble assassin with limitless passion. My rap comparison.
Moving on to track 7, High Explosives.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so we came through track 6. You hear the God Sasco. We in the heat of the battle.
Ooh.
We moving. Now in any warfare,
Right.
you got them explosives that now gotta come.
Oh my God.
So now we hit track 7,
Right.
and we hear High Explode. Now off the rip, the beat alone catch you. We moving at a certain rate of speed.
My God.
What was, and then you hear Joel Ortiz jump in with science out of this planet.
Now he went crazy.
Like, he went ballistic.
Yeah, let's call it what it is.
Like, we gotta call it what's the term that y'all use to describe?
Alien.
He's an alien.
He's alien. Like,
Joel is an alien.
On the words of my man 𝘽𝙊𝙍.
yo, the God is
Like
out of this world.
Certain people hit a different type of frequency, man, and then
he's in that frequency.
that's what that song was about. Like, to
Come
me,
on.
that song, in my opinion, is just about, like, we did tracks 1 through 6, and now let's have some fun now, lyrically. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like lyrical sparring.
Yo, God.
And this is the record I was talking about where I said everything was moving smooth.
Right.
And then this record, he sat with a little bit, like, you know what I mean? Because he was here when Joel did his verse. And, you know, I'm looking at him, and he's just like, he's hyped because the verse is crazy.
It's ill. What was that feeling?
But I could tell the artist side of him kicked in where he's like, all right, I got to put a verse now.
Right.
And I got to follow this up. As soon as Joel finished rapping, like, IBorn comes in. You know what I'm saying? So he understood the assignment. But at first, it probably looked like a crazy hill to climb. Like, wait a minute. This dude just said what? And I got to follow this up right after this?
Mount Everest.
But that's why I love music, man, because if this is truly what you love, you're going to find the right words. At least you're going to try to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, eyeball, see eye to eye. Yo, come on.
Iron sharpens iron.
You heard that.
But listen,
Come on.
let me tell you something. So I told Austin, yo, want to do a record with, me and Joel was talking. He said, all right, yo, let's do it. I'm like, all right, now I ask myself, do you know what you got yourself into? You know what I'm saying? To get to one of them moments like God, what's going on right now, right? You know, this is a little different right here, right?
ain't a game.
This ain't a game, right? Hey, listen. So I asked and I never forget. So I told him the title of it. I'm coming from home. I'm driving down to Taconic. I remember it vividly. I get by the Austin exit. My phone rings. Austin's. Yeah, brother. High explosives. Right? And he played the beat. Now I'm listening.
You just did the beat.
Bro,
yeah.
listen, I floored. And I gotta get to the house. I gotta get there, but I don't know what I'm walking into.
Ooh. Oh, you on your way here?
I'm on my way here.
Wow.
I didn't know Joel was here. Wow. I go inside the room. Joel is on his phone like this. Beloved, we do the salutations.
Right.
I'm going in the booth, and I'm like this.
The mind requires focus.
Yo, as soon as he went in, I'm just sitting there like this. Things just got real.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
got real, baby.
But let me tell you something, like, because all and Joel, they just have an incredible relationship.
Right.
And as he's rhyming, All's turning around looking back at me like this. Oh my God.
Because here's what people gotta understand.
Like, get strapped up, baby.
Yo, bro,
we in here.
People gotta understand, like, you could be friends with somebody, like, I'm talking about artist-wise. Joel's mission when he does a feature, because I've been around him long enough, is to dispose of you. For lack of better words. Like, he turns into Terminator. Because there's times he's done features and I'm like, why you didn't save this verse for your project? He said, I don't know, this. Because I feel like in his brain, it's like, I'm on a record with somebody else, I have to put this in the 6th gear. I have to.
Yo, listen, he came out in 6th gear.
Yo, God.
Like for real.
Like off the rip.
Your mind requires focus to play on a level of high explosives. Man,
he went crazy on that. He went crazy on that verse.
It's so many different things that he said in that verse that you could just highlight.
Yo, what was we talking about the other day? He said the reciprocal action in physical fashion.
He's talking about his kids. He said when I'm long gone, my offspring will be springing into action. If you see them, you see. He said, you see me, you see them. Their reciprocal fraction in physical fashion. Like some crazy shit.
I'm an ink scribble assassin with limitless passion.
Let me tell you something. This is one of those records that we could talk about this record for an hour straight. They just have to hear this record.
They gotta hear it, bro.
This is one of those records that it don't involve a lot of explanation.
Right. You
gotta tune in and listen to every word that Joel and IBorn said on this record, because this is strictly for your enjoyment. You know how the other records had like a lot of, layers to it and meat. Right. This record is, you heard those.
Right.
Now I just want to get off, kind of. So I kind of just want you to understand that I still get busy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you heard me talking about X, Y, and Z, where I might have had to bring down my lyrical content a little bit to get the message across. But now I am giving you raw, uncut, what you wanted. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why I'm saying this record, we could talk about this record all day. They have to hear this.
You gotta hear this one.
Down to the beat. You gotta hear everything on this record, because this record is like, yo, what did they just say? You know what I mean?
Like, did he really say that?
Right. This is one of those. It's hard to explain this record, because I like it so much, because it's just, again, it's a feeling.
It's a feeling.
This shit is one of those feelings that you're like, I gotta hear this again.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is, and I just feel like the arrangement of where it falls on the album, everything is perfect.
Everything.
Because by the time you got to this spot, you kind of need this. You know what I mean? To kind of like reset your system a little bit. Like, all right, cool. I've been listening to a bunch of heavy music. Now let me lighten up a little bit and just hear some bars, for lack of better words. You know what I'm saying?
Like, let me get the synaptic connections moving in the brain.
That's what this is.
And like, with this song, like this was the only song where I didn't hit all and say I received glorious revelation. When I got something, I hit Joel. I said, Houston, we have liftoff. And then I came in and it was like,
he knew the mission.
Yeah, it's like, yo, like, what do you do? Like, what do you say? When you're rhyming with somebody with that type of lyrical ability.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? It's
you go in and you do you.
Yeah, you just do you. And that's all Joel. He said, yo, bro, because I'm like, geez. Like, he said, yo, bro, just do you.
Yo, bro.
And I did me.
And I promise you, bro, listening to this body of work, I'm watching how whatever energy that's put out there,
Right.
whether it's from us and his production ability,
Right.
or whether it's those who you featured with,
Right.
I see you reach that level, and I see you
Allahu
and
Akbar.
break that seal. You know what I'm saying?
Competition.
They said you broke the seal of the prophets. Like, I see you break that. Like, we out here.
Yeah, we
you know
out
what I'm saying?
here.
High explosive. We gotta
High
blow this
explosive.
up.
Nah, I'm never
but y'all
gonna
did
listen.
that. And you said something, you said, this is what New York City's supposed to sound like.
We so enormous.
It's like a level set.
Yeah.
This is what we supposed to sound
Right.
like.
Let's get back to what
Let's get back
made us the mecca
to the foundation
of hip hop.
Right?
With songs like these.
Come on, man.
You know.
So we got track 7 in the books.
Yeah.
Oh, praise be to Allah.
Got the town on my back, baby, so what up? Prolific bar spitter, Nobel Peace Prize, Pulitzer, panoramic views as I get richer. Lord of the sidewalk.
Some call it Allah hopping, we call it duck in the ring. You heard about so-and-so, heard he got cuffed in the team. I was trying to mind my business, but I still heard about it. Wrong place, wrong time, heard he got murdered by it. And he means necessary, I'm something like Malcolm X. My bread is very necessary, you know I'm all about my checks. Homie came home from feds, they got him on house arrest.
All right, we at track 8. Track 8, The Light. Now I'm gonna tell y'all from a listener going through this album.
Right.
When I got here, I said, man, we just hit the high explosives.
Right.
We knew we took the victory. Now we enjoying the spoils of war. Right? Now y'all just correct me if I'm wrong.
Right. Now you're right.
Right? I'm coming through. I went through the dark hour.
Right.
Went through the battle. And now I'm seeing the light. I'm seeing what's on the other side of the submittance to this great jihad, this great war, this great battle that I overcame. I listened to this top of the album where the minister level set us and told us, stop walking by your brother that's struggling. And brother, I learned what I was fighting against and what I was supposed to be submitting to. I come through the war, the album, and then I come to this track, number 8.
We could sit here and lie to you and tell you that record was incomplete for a while. And the reason I say that is we couldn't find the right connector for the hook. Like something that would bring the whole song together. You know what I mean? Like big shouts to my homeboy Angel Hill who's on the hook.
Super shout out to Angel.
What he did on that hook was he tied it together, because before you had a song where it had a Jim Jones verse and IBorn verse, but there needed to be something to tie the two together to make it make sense as to why these two guys are on the same record together.
Right.
And Angel did that. With The Light, it's almost like, who can't understand that? You know what I mean? Like, in some sense of the word, we're all kind of running towards the light. Or trying to.
Right.
You know, so I think that hook, again, for multiple reasons, because it showed a common ground between Jim Jones and IBorn. Which from the outside looking in is hard to make that connection because they live two totally different lifestyles. But that hook embodied, it's almost a perfect hook for that song.
It is.
Because we're all in search of the light. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter who's on that record together. We're all in search of the light. And their verses match that, obviously, but I think that hook was the deciding factor as to what that song turned into.
Got you.
So, you know, I wouldn't sit here and paint the picture for you like me and IBorn had it figured out.
Right.
He had ideas of people he wanted to put on the hook. Ultimately, it boiled down to Angel because, again, it was like divine intervention. He was around at the right time when we needed that hook. He hit the bullseye right in the, you know what I mean? Like he did the right thing on that record. Anything less, anything more would have been overkill. Anything less would have been like, it was perfect. So, you know, when I remember I first sent it to IBorn, I think you listened to it on your phone or something. I said, yo, because he called me back. He was like, he was kind of unsure. And I'm like, I said, yo, Born, did you listen to this on your phone?
He was like, yo, you bugging?
Yeah, I said,
did you listen to this on your phone?
Austin's thing is always like, yo, you bugging.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he said.
He said, I don't know. I said, yo, Born, you bugging, man. Because in my head, it's like, I know he didn't listen to this on anything but his phone. And if you listen to it on the phone, you won't get the full feel of what that, you know what I mean, what it is.
Now, it was the hook that you listened to on your phone? Or
Yeah, because the song was already done before that.
Okay.
Right, we just never had the hook.
Got it.
So when he
Got
sent
it,
the
got it.
hook, I'm sitting like this. Me and my wife was looking at each other. I'm like, I hear, oh, yo, you bugging. So I put it into the system, and I put it in the system. I'm like, nah.
And then he called me back.
I said, yo, this joint's crazy. But yeah, this song is it's a deep song because I never forget that night. I met Jim on 135th and 5th, and we were talking. My man Kev Ross was there, and he's like, yo, what's up? Let's go in the studio now. I said, nah, man, I think Savvy Day was in Chicago. I said, I gotta go to Chicago. So now, 3 o'clock, I wake up, he texts me, he's still up. It's 3 o'clock, he said, yo, you never sent me the beat. I sent him the beat, which I thought all sent it to him. I get to Savior's Day, I get to Chicago, as soon as I get to the hotel 11 o'clock, he sends me the verse.
Wow.
Just like that.
Wow.
Yo, so Jim's work ethic is insane.
Wow.
Like he's a late night guy for real.
Wow.
Like for real.
And what was it? So when, like, I know this, you said it was incomplete for a minute.
Yeah.
But what was the inspiration behind the song, like overall in the inception, right? Like, did you already know you wanted to connect with Jim?
It was just a fly song, man. Like, I'm not gonna try to paint a different picture to it. It was just a fly song that was needed for the album. You know what I mean? Like, it was just needed.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a bunch of like intricate, super thought behind it. Like, you know what? We need to make a record that it was kind of like, you know what? This record feels good. He wanted Jim on the record. That record sounded like it would sound the best with Jim on there. Born did his verse. And then, like I said, for the longest, we were like, how do we tie this together? Who do we get to put on this hook? And we gave it a lot of thought. That part of it had a lot of thought behind it.
That was a hard part right there.
Right.
Yeah. I would have an artist and I say, yo, what you think about this? It's like, nah. His thing to me was just let it be. He said it's gonna happen, and you know me, I'm sitting there like, I'm like, yo, what's
I gotta
going?
make it happen. I gotta force it.
Yo, what about this person and that person?
That was because I know we said before Executive Council was the last record we did, but that was one of the last records we were trying to complete,
like finalize.
Yes.
Yeah, because Executive Council got completed rather fast, but it was the last record that we did. But that record, it was like lingering around. The project was damn near done, and that record was just lingering. I was like, we got to finish this. How do we finish this? And it all.
You know
came
what
together.
I love about this track between you and Jim's, the commonality, because I've been blessed to been on this City Fest stage with y'all too.
Right.
And there's a certain, and I just seen Jim in Fashion Week last week, and the fly, like style wise.
Nah, Jimmy's different.
You know what I'm saying? Like Jim is a fashion icon. He's just a fly dude. You see Jim, the way Jim walk, he just walk. You could tell he was the cool kid in school. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? And he just always have carried that level of confidence.
Right.
But to me, when I listen to it, I'm looking at the bezel, you on the wrist, we jumping out the double R, like we fly right now.
And that's necessary because, like I told Born before, there's a misconception that people of the Nation of Islam, like, they don't worry about getting fly or wearing this or wearing that. This record taught me, like, wait a minute, okay. Like, Born giving it up. He's talking about, you know what I mean? And I respect that because, again, that's needed on the album.
Right.
We got to show that side of him.
Right.
Because that's part of his life also. You know what I'm saying? So, again, this record is necessary for multiple reasons.
And that's my boy Ash, that's behind the camera, said that to me as we driving over. And we were watching Executive Council video. He said, man, Ty, he said to see the balance between the bros. He said, we see the bros in the suits. He said, we see that version. He said, but to see the other side. To see that they like this too, they do this too. He said, that's the difference that the world hasn't seen. He said, so you all have the ability to facilitate this with your projects.
Absolutely.
But we had to let them understand the important side first. Before we start showing them the, you know, like so that's why we set up, and this record is number 8. Because it's like, all right, cool, we got here, let me show you this, but then don't be distracted. This is the important stuff.
Right.
But we let
You
into
put
this.
that up
Cool,
front.
This is us too.
Right.
But this is, you understand? This is the
Absolutely.
mission right here. This is a section of a portion of how I move and how I behave. But this is really 90% of my 80% of my life is this.
Core
you know what I'm
foundation.
saying? Right.
Excellent.
So it was necessary.
You know, the bezel flash like lightning.
Come on.
I met at Uptown on Dykeman Heights. You know, shout out to rest in peace, man. Allah be pleased with the beloved Black Rob.
Black Rob, man.
Yeah, big shout out to Black Rob.
Man, God be pleased with him, man. Yeah. So that's track 8, The Light.
Yes.
The Light. Beautiful.
We get into the closer.
My young boy, he on demon time. He moving different. Told him take it easy, like I'm taking mine. Look how I came through with that bucket on tilt. Louis Vuitton, aviators when I wore it. I'm so thankful for my life and how it turned out. All the struggles that I've been through I can now talk about and share my story with the world, spread some inspiration, uplift the youth, they're the next generation. So why not teach them, show them a little love, give back to those in need, that's the greatest love. Unfortunate this world is scary, nobody cares, so if you got a heart, then why not share?
Yes,
it's all part of the plan.
Yes, it is.
And so as we come to the conclusion of the album, we at the 9th track. Now IBorn, if you could just give us the science of the number 9, and why was it important for it to be 9 songs on this album?
That 9 is so, it is so me. It embodies everything in my life. I mean, my government name has 9 alphabets. The year I was born is 9. I received my knowledge of self in building a department, 1B, 8 plus 1 is 9, B is born is, you know, it all goes back to the 9. Right. And I just wanted to just, you know, I wanted to just expound on that. You know, I wanted to expound.
And guess what? If you really want to know, go back and check track 2.
Right.
Born Again.
All the instructions are on this album. If you want to know something, a certain song will explain it to you. So the question you just asked about number 9, go check track 2. For the people that want to know, he explains it in track 2.
Born Again, 2nd verse, clear as day. You know what I mean?
So we get to this one, and it's all a part of the plan. Number 1, the hook is infectious. It kind of resonates with a particular portion of your spirit.
Big shout out to Galaxy. Galaxy is a super talented artist out of PA. Beautiful. I introduced her to Born through her music, you know, and Born just loved her voice, loved the way that she did things, and you know, he was like, yo, we need her on the project. And we put it together.
So did y'all have that, did we have that hook first?
No.
No, we didn't have a
just
hook
a beat.
first.
We had a beat first.
Had the beat first.
Yeah, and I knew she could body, you know what I'm saying? And I knew what IBorn wanted. So once she sent that back right away, and you was like, nah, this is it. This is it.
Now
like,
she sent it back, and I was like, I couldn't believe it. And it was so perfect. And these are one of these songs right here. It's like when All made the beat, is like he knew what the project needed. You know, so that's when you just fall back as a student,
right? And
you let the teacher do what he do.
And at the time, I don't think I understood how much we needed that record as to when the end of the project came. Because you know, like when the end of the project comes, you can stand back and look at all the records you have. I realized how necessary that particular record was because we had nothing like it. And we needed something to kind of round off the album and close out the album in a real smooth, non-aggressive way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kind of like sailing off in the sunset type of thing. That vibe. You know what I mean? Where it's real mellow. It's not, it's like, it's one of those records that you choose to listen to because you want to listen to that record. It's not like, I need that record to work out in the gym or to do this or to do that.
Right.
That record just sets the mood for you. Like, I don't know, man. It's one of those records that's hard to describe. It's just a great vibe.
And what I caught from it, IBorn, was it to me, it gave a culmination of that I'm not here by mistake.
Right.
Yeah.
As we're hearing your experiences through the album, I feel like from the hook and what you're saying, it's a part of the full circle of this was all part of the plan.
That's dope that you're giving me insight on this album I never even. You're making me look at this album in ways I never looked at it, which is dope to me. Because again, sometimes when you do great things like that, they take on different meanings over time to different people. So as you listen to the album, you're giving me your feedback. This is dope to me because you're giving me a perspective I never had.
Wow.
To a lot of these songs.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I can't speak for IBorn, but I'm speaking for myself. Like,
Likewise.
I never thought about it like that. But that's dope to me. You know, part of the plan being the last record, and now you're telling people like all of this was part of the plan. Not just this record, but everything that you heard on this album was part of the plan.
Now, that's incredible.
And that's how we sailing off into the sunset with that one message. Was part of the plan.
It sets a tone for the listener that.
But that's dope. Thank you for even noticing that. That's dope because you showing me things I never gave it that type of thought. But that's super dope because even the way this arrangement worked out, was like divine intervention. I sent him the arrangement like, yo, how you feel about this? He was like, nah, that's it, beloved. Yo, let me tell you how crazy Born is. I send Born my tentative album arrangement.
Right.
He sends me back the cover, the back cover, like with graphics and all of that.
Already done.
Yes, like this is
like,
how
bro,
fast
this
he moves.
was
like, nah, that's fire. And then I check my WhatsApp in like an hour. He got the graphics done already. With the, so I said, yo, Born is about his business, but the whole album, it was just fun making this album, man.
Man, and that's one thing about him is he truly sees the God in other people. Where he don't try to dim your light. He wants whatever you bring to him, he like, yeah.
Let me tell you
That.
something.
Let's bring that God out of you.
If you don't plan to execute an idea, don't tell him. Don't get IBorn excited about it.
Right.
He's going to make you finish that, execute that idea. If he likes it. You understand? So that's dope to me. But I'm just giving people when I introduce people to IBorn, I gotta give them the warning sometimes, like, yo, listen. Do not tell this man nothing you don't plan to do.
Facts.
Because he's going to hold you to that.
That's a fact.
If you tell him, yo, we're going to do this on Thursday and X, Y, and Z, please make sure you do that on Thursday. Like I told before, there's times I've been in the studio and I want to be like, yo, you know, I tell him I'm going to email you this before I leave. And you know, I'm doing a bunch of different things. I'll be on my way out the door. Then it'll hit me like, oh, you didn't send that to IBorn. I'll have the Uber waiting downstairs. I'll turn back around, turn the computer on because I know what. If I don't send it to him tonight,
beloved.
Yeah, you'll be my text.
I didn't get that
like,
email
from
you.
You forgot to you forgot to beloved, and I'm like,
you ain't forget me, right?
Hey, yo, listen, I love, man, you know, and he just makes sure everything is good, man. I'm just so thankful, man, for the brotherhood, man. Like I really appreciate this brother. For real.
I just want people to, I know, you know, we spoke about this whole album, man, but I want people to genuinely listen to this project with an open mind because it's not what most people might be accustomed to message-wise.
Right.
You understand? Like, but if you give it a chance, this is what you need.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I agree.
You might not even know you need this until you listen to it, but you need this.
Like, you get it, and
because it's solid information. This is like the guideline.
Right.
It could stray you away from some troubled waters if you listen to certain songs. The opening song.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Like, so again, to me, this is the instruction manual that certain people need.
And speaking on that, even the interlude with Brother Alton. You know what Brother Alton said on Born Again. I mean, Brother Alton was so prolific in what he said, you know, as far as being born again.
Right.
You know, I thought that was powerful, man. There's just so many different elements.
Every voice on this record is for a reason, man. And it like, was it Brother Alton that did this?
Yes, for Born Again.
That's necessary. You understand? Because it resets the mood after Brother. So that piece is necessary. Whether people know it or not, if we go right into Born Again after Brother, it doesn't hit the same.
Right.
We need that little bit of interlude. You understand? So everything, you know.
And I tell you, you know, that's my man, right? This is tied to the hip. This been my big bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Growing up, you know what I'm saying? He was a part of that team that really gave me and my younger team somebody to look up to that was positive, had their mind on straight, and they made Islam cool.
Right.
That's what it was about Off's team. They made Islam cool. They was tailored suits, jumping out of trucks. We like, damn, son, like I want to rock with these dudes.
To me, that was part of the aim for me with this project. Because like I said before, I didn't know a lot of things as far as like brothers in the Nation of Islam like to get fly and do this, that, and the third. So making this album, I wanted to make it fly. Meaning like when they look at IBorn and look at his message, that I want them to look at him like, oh nah, here he come again. Nah, they want them to look at them like he's almost like we needed him.
Right.
He's necessary to this. You know what I'm saying?
Help us see that other side.
I hope we accomplished that, man.
And I
feel
tell you,
we did.
Last piece about Big Alt, my mom, may Allah be pleased with her, said to me one day, she said, yo, Tariq, Alton, he got to do something with that voice.
Alton's voice is just...
She said, yo, that boy got to do something with that voice. Because he's got one of those similar to, you know, our Supreme Captain, that when that roar happens, it shakes something in you, man.
It does. It shakes,
you know what I'm saying?
Shakes the very core of your body.
So just, you know, just closing out on this part of the plan, you know, you're giving, you're walking us through a story as we close the album of an experience of one of our young sisters. Right. And walk us through why that was important to bring that full circle plan into place.
Well, with that verse right there, you know, I've seen it so many times when I'm talking about a young sister, just her mother still outside trying to live her best life. Her mother's at every party that she could be. Meanwhile, she's neglecting to care for her daughter. So while she's neglecting to care for her daughter because she's busy outside running around trying to live her life, her daughter gets pregnant by a man that's old enough to be her father. So this comes from her mother not putting eyes on her and properly raising her. So now she's confused. She doesn't know what to do. Should I have an abortion? Should I keep it? And then by not by chance, but by Allah's mercy, her friend's parents are Muslims in the mosque. Right? So her friend's parents understand that your mother left you for dead. We're going to take you in and we want to bring you to the mosque. We bring you to the mosque. You hear the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's voice. Now you're uplifted and your whole life changes. Now the sisters in the MGT, they take you, they nurture you. Some are like mothers to you, some are your sisters. And they just give you a whole new outlook on what life can be. Just all from hearing the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's voice and being around one of the greatest sisterhoods on the planet, the greatest sisterhood, the MGT. And now she's elevated her life and she's off to a whole new world. And Allah's blessed her with everything.
It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan, man. And to see you in the beginning of the album speaking to our brothers. At the end of the album, you're speaking to our sisters.
Yes, sir.
And through all of this, you're providing the light. Right? To be born again.
Yes, sir.
And then it's all a part of the full scale plan.
Come on, God.
It's like, man, this is if those who choose to submit to the wisdom within this album are really gonna have an opportunity to see a different side of themselves.
I agree.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I think that you all have created a masterpiece here.
Thank you, beloved.
And I want to thank you two brothers.
Thank you, my
for
brother,
allowing me to be a part of history.
Come on, thank you.
You know what I'm saying? I love y'all brothers very much.
Love you back, brother.
Same, my
and
brother.
let's make sure that this gets into every nook and cranny. So that we can do our part in changing the world.
Yeah, this is the beginning of this.
It's just the beginning.
The HeatMakerz saved me. Now I'm back, you.
My brother. Man, Born Again. Album out very soon. Peace and blessings, families.
Love.
Yes.
Lord Akbar.
Yes.
My Lord.
My brother.
Life's not treating you right.
Brother,
Although it
thank you.
seems that everything you're trying's not quite working out. School stressing you. Your mother's never in the house. She's at every party still trying to be young.